The Fed is the problem, and they always have been. And the Fed. All right, welcome back to the channel today, everybody. Today I want to talk about some recent revelations in the eviction moratorium issue that went before the Supreme Court, as well as some other COVID-related issues. But before I get started, make sure you click that like and subscribe button below, and continue to help. I'll wait. Go ahead. Now. Go ahead. Thanks. All right, so last Thursday, the Supreme Court stated that in order to continue the federal eviction moratorium, Congress must specifically authorize it. So they have to actually pass the bill and the president has to sign it, just like any other bill in front of Congress. I mean, they were literally starting to think that the CDC had enough authorization to be able to do this unilaterally. When what is the CDC? The CDC really has zero power whatsoever, especially when it comes to landlords and evictions. But in this whole thing, obviously there's going to be some fallout because I don't think Congress is going to be able to pass this. It doesn't make sense. Plus, it just puts a really big strain on small businesses, and so Democrats, especially, didn't really see it that way. They thought, again, the CDC could unilaterally act on this. So when the Supreme Court made this ruling, Rashida Tlaib, the Congresswoman from Michigan, she, in a tweet, put out, SCOTUS has always protected the interest of the rich and corporations at the expense of working people. This is just another example. The court's gross partisan decision will throw millions out of their homes in the middle of a surging pandemic. Congress must act now. So these people really don't get it, and they're playing the public for fools. Think about this. She just said that they protected corporations. But who gets hurt when a landlord cannot evict somebody? It's the small mom and pop shop landlords, just the single landlords that maybe have 1, 2, or 3 properties. It's actually corporate landlords that are able to survive this type of environment. So really, what she needs to understand is she is actually supporting the rich and the corporate because they're the only ones that can survive. Because, and that's typical how this stuff is. I mean, so landlords still have their expenses. With no income coming in, one article said lots of landlords are selling because they're running out of money, and that's to be expected. They still have to pay their property tax. They still have to be able to keep their rentals in working order. And so it's kind of like I expressed with the Amazon and $15 minimum wage issues. Small businesses can't pay that, but only Amazon can. It's the same with corporation. It's the same with housing. These small one house owners that are renting out to people, they can't maintain this. Only these corporate landlords are the ones that can create it. So with Amazon, it's like, okay, Jeff Bezos bad, with this corporate landlord's bad, yet Congress creates this by reducing the competition and making rules in favor of corporations. We saw the perfect example of this weekend. Actor and comedian Andy Richter posted a tweet about moving his son into an apartment at USC. It said, "My son is looking for a studio apartment around USC, and one that he applied for a couple of days ago told us that the owner wanted 6 months rent up front after he and I both paid app fees. No wonder people fucking hate landlords and management companies that facilitate them." And then it says, "Oh, and that's in addition to first and last month's rent for deposit." You can't put this on landlords. This is exactly what happens when the federal government tries to tell people that they don't have to pay their rent for the place that they are staying. Places have to survive, and this is how they survived, and make sure you have enough money to pay your rent before you move in. If you don't like these rules, buy your own place. What's really kind of interesting is a lot of people were making a lot more money on unemployment than they would have normally been under their normal wages. Yet they were able to pay their rent before the pandemic, and now they're not able to pay their rent when they're actually probably making more money off federal assistance. And if you want to say that they're not making more money off federal assistance, drive in any state that's open. Even when I was up in Michigan last year, they couldn't find workers to come in and work because so many people were making so much money on unemployment. And you don't have a right to live in someone else's property without paying them. I mean, the Fed didn't prevent property taxes on landlords, yet they expect them to house people rent-free with no income coming in. The Fed is the problem, and they always have been. And the Fed. So in other news, washed up rocker Dee Snider, I mean, you may know him as the lead singer of the one-hit wonder Twisted Sister. So he made news this weekend when he told unvaccinated people to not come to his shows. He said, go see Ted Nugent or Kid Rock. Now, I've seen Kid Rock in concert, and I'm sure it would be a 1,000 times better show than going to see Twisted Sister. I mean, dude, you had like 2 good songs and 1 hit. It is ironic, though, that the man that sang the song that proclaimed that he wasn't and we aren't going to take it decides that he wants everyone to now take it. I mean, why can't we just have personal choice on this matter? Is that too much to ask? I'm always interested because people always want to assume my vaccination status based on me wanting personal choice. Now, I'm not going to levy this here, but it's really interesting when people make assumptions about you. Going back to the vaccine, though, if it works, why are you worried about what other people do? I mean, he has the right as an artist to turn away money and fans if he wants to. I probably wouldn't see him anyway, so he's not losing my money. So he can turn away what little audience he's got coming into shows. But as always, let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you click that subscribe button, and I will see you next time.